Hello there, you're on the Heart of Reddit channel. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Get your popcorn ready and enjoy. We talked. I used to work for a company where the majority of the work was done outside of the office on our own. Most staff would go into the office once a week, and since they went in based on what fit their schedule best, there was a chance you might never have met a fellow employee despite you both having worked there for months. One day we had a training session. These would happen around every 3-4 months. This meant that all employees were called in. I already knew what we were being trained on, since I had helped the manager on it beforehand. Still, everyone was expected at training including me, so I was there. For the first hour or so everything went like usual. Then we had a break. I headed outside for some fresh air, whilst another guy went out for a smoke. We hadn't met before, so we introduced ourselves. Turns out we had a lot in common. We got on like a house on fire and both had a similar stupid sense of humor. When we went back inside when they wanted to restart training, we were still chatting. After around 20 minutes, where we had quietly cracked some jokes to each other about the training material, the boss stood up and said, "Guys, there is a Starbucks up the road. Go there, get a drink, and don't come back until you have finished talking." Okay, so we went to Starbucks, grabbed a drink each, chatted about various subjects. Before we knew it, it had gone 5 p.m. Work was done for the day, so we went home. 2 days later, we were both called into the office. The manager wanted to know why we hadn't returned to training. "You told us to not come back until we had finished talking." Yes, well, we weren't finished talking, at which point both of us were trying to keep a straight face. The boss looked at us, both and sighed. I really should have seen that coming. In the end I trained him up on the stuff we had missed, and we've been really close friends ever since. The Loser Army. I work for a university. Recently we were told we have new performance evaluation criteria, but we can't be told what they are because they are private. However, they seem to involve everyone except administrators publishing an unspecified number of academic papers in what are called premier journals. Many premier journals are trash with a 50% acceptance rate. Admin isn't trying to improve quality here. This fucks over a lot of teaching faculty, some of whom do not have PhDs and have contracts being disregarded by the admin that do not involve research. These faculty also have many sections of classes with double the number of students they were hired initially to teach. This was enacted to purge teaching faculty by making them feel they are to blame for being fired, even though their only job is teaching. It also purges faculty that take a lot of time to do high quality, serious work. I am in the research faculty, so I have formed a loser army of disgruntled people to co-author and proliferate meaningless papers for the shittiest premier journals. Accordingly, those meant to be purged are now meeting the criteria with flying colors, outperforming people who intended to survive by currying favor with the admin. Complain to the apartments after I do what you wanted. A few years ago, I was living in an apartment complex on the 3rd story with no balcony. At this point, I've been living there for almost 4 years. The 3rd story was the only floor that connected to the other half of the building for fire code access to 2 staircases. There are some steps about halfway to the other side that I'd smoke cigarettes sitting on. I'd always take the butts with me and swept every couple of days. I was a good neighbor, no noise, cat sit for the guy across from me, taught the old Russian guy how to use his appliances, helped people move furniture in and out. A new couple moves in. After smoking a cigarette on those stairs in between, new neighbor guy comes to me and says, "Hey, sorry to bother you. Do you mind not smoking here? We can smell it in our apartment." I say, "I'm so sorry." "Yeah, no problem. It won't happen again." We both go inside, and that night I walk down to the 1st floor each time I wanted to smoke. The next morning, I get a call from the apartment complex saying they received a complaint that I was smoking on the stairs in the connecting walkway. I admit that I did do that and have since started going all the way down to the parking lot. He says, "Oh, you don't have to do that. Any stair landing area is allowed smoking, pretty much anywhere except where you were." Okay, thanks. I started smoking on the stair landing. That forced them to walk past me and was closer to their apartment. Speaking to me as a person, I walked the 3 flights, complained to the complex after I fixed the problem, not going out of my way anymore.